The threat of a Russian invasion into Ukraine is reaching a new high.
The White House is urging all American citizens to leave Ukraine now, warning the U.S. military will not rescue Americans if an attack begins.
If you stay, you are assuming risk with no guarantee that there will be any other opportunity to leave, and no prospect of a U.S. military evacuation in the event of a Russian invasion.
The comments come after President Biden met virtually this morning with world leaders to discuss the threat. The administration made it clear diplomacy remains on the table, but they are prepared for any situation. Russia has amassed well over 100,000 troops around Ukraine, despite saying it has no intention of invading.
CBS News' Natalie Brand joins us with more from the White House. Natalie, clearly the situation has become more urgent in the last 24 hours. Walk us through why the U.S. seems to be on even a higher alert.
Absolutely. You are right. That message has been escalated from the White House. We've heard it from the president and now from the president's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, who in briefing reporters said that intelligence reveals Russia has now amassed all the forces it needs at the Ukraine border to launch a military invasion against Ukraine if that's what President Putin decides. Now, Sullivan made clear that at this point, it is still not clear whether the Russian president has made a final decision on that front, despite some reports earlier that perhaps he had made a decision to move forward with a military invasion. Sullivan making very clear that it's premature to say that. However, based on what they are seeing, the warning to Americans in Ukraine remains to get out immediately, because if Putin decides to move forward, an invasion could happen really any day now, within days, even before the close of the Olympics. And this is really the timeline that the White House has been looking at. But now we are hearing it could happen really any day now. So they want Americans in Ukraine to make arrangements to leave as soon as possible. And this also comes as we are hearing from the Secretary of State that the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv, they are in the process of drawing that down, trying to get Americans out of the country.
Yeah, a smaller footprint was what Sullivan had said. He also outlined a little further what Russian military action could look like against Ukraine. What details did we learn there?
That's right. And he did give some vivid details around this. I want to read from a quote. He said, "It is likely to begin with aerial bombing and missile attacks that could obviously kill civilians without regard to their nationality if a Russian attack were to occur." So that kind of gives you a sense of why this warning is taking on such urgency right now. If this happens, it could happen so quickly that Americans could get caught in the crossfire. The White House obviously wants everyone to get out well in advance of when a decision is made. We know as well from the diplomatic efforts that have been underway, the White House still hoping for some sort of diplomatic path forward. We've seen all the European leaders of NATO countries going back and forth to try to negotiate with Putin himself. We saw that from the French president earlier this week. But at this point, it is reaching a new sense of direness when you're listening to what's coming out of the administration on this front. And really, now it's just anyone's guess what could happen next. I do want to note, it's interesting in listening to some of the interviews on the ground coming out of Kyiv from Ukrainian residents. They don't seem to have at this point that same sense of panic that something is imminent. Although, you know, when you hear the messaging from the White House and from the president, it is taking on a whole new level of immediacy.
Yeah, it's not the first time they've dealt with Russia. They're right there on the border. It's front and center for them. So perhaps they're keeping calm to carry on. But the secretary did mention, he said, not just days, he said it could even be hours. And I'm curious, the message seems to be for Americans overseas in Ukraine to get out now. What idea do we have if they're proceeding in that manner? Do we have any notion?
Well, Senator Sullivan indicated that really we don't have a clear, definitive number of the Americans, the number of Americans in Ukraine right now, because not everyone may have registered with the embassy. Sources earlier have told CBS has learned that maybe several thousand have registered with the embassy, but there could be potentially upwards of 20,000. That includes people who the embassy has not accounted for. So at this point, it's hard to know a real specific number, but it's clear, again, as we've been saying, the message from the president, from his administration is if you are an American citizen in Ukraine, you need to make arrangements to get out.
Natalie Brand, thank you very much. We appreciate the very latest from the White House.